called it, and welcome to Pandora. This past month has seen the announcement of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and while I've covered a lot about the game in my past videos, my overall thoughts are that I cannot wait for the game to drop sometime in 2022. It looks to give us a beautifully rendered Pandora to explore in, as well as new and intriguing story from which new elements of the universe can be shown. But that wasn't the only news for the franchise in June, so what else happened for Avatar in this month? Well, one of the biggest stories was the tweet from MTV News' Josh Horowitz when interviewing Vin Diesel for his latest Fast and Furious film. The tweet was a short part of the video interview with the star, in which Josh asked him whether the rumours of his involvement with the Avatar franchise were true. This was Vin Diesel's response.
I have spent time with him, but I have not filmed it yet.
This has caused a lot of speculation as to whether he will appear in Avatar 2, and while I believe he will have some future involvement in the franchise, I don't think it will be as part of Avatar 2. With Vin Diesel teasing that he might be working with James Cameron in the future, it leads me to believe that it won't be an immediate partnership, as Avatar 2 has now wrapped up initial filming and has been in development for several years. It makes me feel as if he will be introduced into the franchise later on, maybe with Avatar 3 or 4. As to what kind of character he might play, let's get into my speculation for the moment, and put on our tin hat so to speak. I can easily see him playing a member of the RDA, maybe a gruff, no-nonsense commander looking to take Pandora back for the humans, or a survivor from the conflict of the first film, who has a hatred for all Na'vi and is on a crusade of revenge. Either I think would fit the actor well and would make for an interesting antagonist in the later films. That being said, I could also see him playing a similar role as a Na'vi, this time being an older warrior who has a pure hatred of humanity and wants to see them eradicated from the moon. This could be a good opposite to other characters who would rather foster a more peaceful solution. Either way, his involvement in the franchise will be an exciting thing to look forward to whenever it does happen. The next biggest story from this month comes from James Cameron himself. In a recent online course for filmmaking that the director is producing for Masterclass, he discussed his love of large film set pieces and goes on to recall how during filming of the original Avatar, someone at the studio wanted him to cut down the runtime of the famous Ikran training scene with Jake. Of course, Cameron stood his ground and made sure it was kept. To think at one point such an iconic scene, and one of my personal favourites, could have not appeared in the film is very strange to imagine. For me, this scene helps to develop Jake's character and his further integration into the Ometakayan, and I'm not sure how the film would have felt without it, but it's still a fun thing to ponder on what could have been. Another story from the start of the month saw a new piece of concept art shown off for Avatar 2 from its producer John Landau for World Ocean Day. The piece of art in question shows an unknown Na'vi riding a manta-like creature in the oceans of Pandora, in a similar way to how Ikrans are used to travel above the surface. It's a beautiful piece of art and shows of how imaginative and unknown the oceans of the planet still are to us. As a lot of Avatar 2 will be set underwater, I can see these creatures being the main mode of transport for the Metakayan clan, who will make their debut in the film. The last thing to talk about is the recent uploaded Q&A with Zoe Saldana from the 10th anniversary event. Not only is this a fantastic insight into her time on the first film, but it really shows how dedicated every member of the cast still is to the franchise and its universe. I'd highly recommend giving it a watch, and where possible always support the official outlets for the franchise. But that's all the main news that I found for this month. If there's anything I've missed or you'd like me to talk about, be sure to leave a comment below. But until then, hej alvaj, gievame!